Welcome, wherever you are right now. Let this be your gentle invitation to rest. This is your time, your space to slow down, unwind, and feel safe. Tonight's story will take you to a peaceful mountain lodge where rain taps softly against the windows and a warm fire crackles nearby. You don't need to do anything at all. Just listen, breathe, let go. Let the words drift over you like a soft blanket. There's no rush, no expectations. Only the sound of the rain, the fire, and a story made just for you. So close your eyes or soften your gaze. Allow yourself to settle in. You are safe. You are home. The car ride is long and winding. The kind of quiet journey that pulls you gently inward. You drive slowly, following the curves of the narrow road as it climbs higher and higher into the mountains. Pine trees line the path like watchful sentinels. The branches swaying gently in the misty air. It is raining for hours. Not heavily, but with a soft, steady rhythm. The kind of rain that makes the world feel hushed and distant. You remember how it sounds on the car roof, like nature's lullaby. The windshield wipers move slowly, left, right, left, right. You aren't in a hurry. There's no reason to be. Eventually, the road narrows even more. And then, there it is. The lodge, it looks exactly as you hope it will. Old wooden beams, sloping roof, warm, golden light, glowing behind foggy windows. Smoke curls gently from the chimney, curling into the gray blue sky. It stands on a small hill overlooking the Forest Valley. Just trees, mountains, mist, and rain. You park the car and step out. The air is cool and damp, filled with the scent of pine needles and wet earth. There is no sound but the patter of the rain on the roof and the faint rustle of trees in the distance. You pull your coat tighter around your shoulders. And walk slowly toward the front door. With each step, gravel crunches underfoot. The lodge welcomes you like an old friend. You push open the heavy wooden door. And step inside. Warmth. The first thing you notice is the warmth, not just from the fire crackling in the stone. It's a fireplace though, with a feeling of warmth in the air itself. The scent of burning wood mixes with something faintly sweet. Maybe cinnamon or cedar. You slip off your shoes, leaving them by the door. Walk slowly across the creaky wooden floor. Your footsteps echo gently in the quiet room. A thick woolen rug muffles the sound as you step into the lounge. Dot low lamp cast soft pools of amber light. There are shelves filled with old books. A few cozy chairs. And one large window with the rain sliding slowly down the glass. You drop your bag on the floor and lower yourself into a deep armchair by the fire. The fire whispers and pops softly. You lean your head back, letting your body rest completely. No demands, no screams, no noise, just warmth, silence, and the gentle sound of rain. After a while, you rise and wander into the kitchen. The lodge has everything you need. You fill a kettle and place it on the stove. Soon, it begins to hum gently. You make yourself a warm drink. And carry the steaming cup back to the lounge. Outside, the rain continues. You watch it streak down the window like silver thread. The sky has turned a deep shade of blue. Almost night now. You sit. You let yourself feel the full, quiet joy of this moment. As the fire crackles and the tea warms your hands, your mind drifts to a memory, or maybe it is a dream. A story, long buried, resurfaces. You remember a figure, an older man, perhaps a caretaker of the lodge. You have spoken with him once on a visit years ago. He tells you stories of people who come to this place: writers, artists, teachers, people who have lost their spark. They arrive exhausted. They rest, and slowly, quietly, they begin to dream again. You finish your tea. The fire crackles. Dimmer now. The room around you glows in soft amber tones, the way a memory might feel just before it fades. You lean back again, letting the cushions hold your weight as your thoughts float gently. Not forward, not back, but inward. And from somewhere quiet inside you, the lodge itself, begins to tell more stories. There was the man who came every spring. No one knew his name. Not really. He booked the cabin under initials only R&B. He always arrived just after the last frost. The trees were starting to remember what green felt like. He never stayed long. Just a few days. Maybe 4. Never more than 5. He brought very little with him: a canvas satchel, a field notebook, and a pair of old boots worn down at the heels. But each morning, like clockwork, he would leave the lodge just after sunrise and return right before twilight, covered in dirt and pine needles, eyes gleaming. Some say he was a botanist, others say a poet, but the old caretaker who lived near the ridge once said this: "That man isn't studying nature, he's speaking with it, listening to something we've forgotten how to hear." One spring, RB didn't come. No one said anything at first, but when the caretaker noticed that a single pressed flower had been left on the windowsill of the guest room, a delicate bloom wrapped in wax paper, he smiled. He left the mountain a thank you, he whispered. And somehow, the room seemed warmer after that. You blinked softly, turning to the firelight. You could almost see R.B. standing by the window, brushing rain off his shoulders. His eyes filled with stories the forest had told him, and just as quickly, the image fades again. Your breath slows, your body sinks deeper. There was the woman who brought a stack of unsent letters. She arrived late in the evening, much like you had, under the shelter of a soft rain and a heavy sky. She wore a long coat with a broken button and carried a leather satchel with frayed edges. Inside were dozens of envelopes, sealed but never mailed. Each morning, she would sit at the little table by the fireplace and unwrap one letter. She never opened them. She would simply hold them in her hands, run her fingers across the folded edges, and stare into the fire with eyes full of distant thoughts. By nightfall, she would write a new one, fresh paper, a fountain pen. The words flowed quickly, as if they had been waiting just beneath the surface. On the third night, she burned the first letter, and then the next, and the next, always one at a time, the flames licking the ink, until nothing remained but fragile gray ash. By the end of the week, the stack of old letters was gone. She left them in a wooden box on the mantel with a small note that read, "For anyone who needs to begin again." You pause, eyes half closed, imagining the woman's soft movements, the quiet resolve in her chest. How many nights had she held those letters before she found the courage to let go? You wonder, were the new letters for others? Or were they simply notes to her future self? Then there was the couple who stayed for an entire season. They arrived with matching scarves and tired eyes, holding hands like people who had weathered a storm. Not outside, but within. They barely spoke at first. It's just about simple things like tea or cocoa. Should we light the fire again? Did you sleep? They spent their days in quiet rituals. One would cook. The other would read aloud from an old book of poetry. Sometimes they would walk bundled up in layers through the frozen pines. Each evening they returned and sat side by side in the armchairs by the fire, the same place you now sit. Not talking, not needing to. Their silence was warm. By February, they began to laugh again. Not loudly, not often, but enough to melt something. They left in March. In the guest book, they wrote, "We remembered how to be quiet together." You smile softly, imagining them wrapped in blankets, a bowl of stew between them, a long, contented silence. You shift in your seat, noticing how deeply relaxed your body has become. The fire flickers gently. In the lodge, this place of stillness continues to speak. There was a girl who came to the lodge with a suitcase full of paints, no brushes. She arrived in late summer, just before the first leaves began to blush with hints of gold. She wore paint-streaked overalls and carried a suitcase so heavy it looked like it contained bricks. Inside the suitcase, tubes and jars of vibrant color, every shade imaginable, not a single brush. At first, the lodge's caretaker thought it was a mistake, but the girl simply smiled and said, "No mistake. I'm just learning how to paint with my fingers." And she did. She spent hours outside on the porch, dipping her fingertips into swirls of blue and crimson, gold and green, dragging her hands across thick canvases like she was sculpting clouds. The air smelled like turpentine and mountain pine. She painted in silence, sometimes with tears drying on her cheeks, sometimes with laughter bubbling up for no reason at all. When asked why she came, she said only, "I forgot how to feel things. I think my hands remember." She stayed for 10 days. When she left, she gave the caretaker one of her pieces, a simple painting of a forest path, touched with soft streaks of gold light filtering through trees. But in the bottom right corner, just barely visible, were 2 overlapping fingerprints pressed into the paint like a signature. Outside, the wind carries the sound of distant chimes. Or maybe that's just the memory of them still echoing through the wood. There was an older man who came to the lodge on the anniversary of his wife's passing. Every year, same date, same room. He brought with him a small, carefully folded quilt, one she had sewn decades earlier, patch of memory stitched in cloth. The first time he came, he didn't speak to anyone. Spent his days on the back porch, bundled in the quilt, staring out at the trees. But by the second year, he began to hum low, gentle melodies, unfinished lullabies that seemed to carry the names of people long gone. In the third year, he brought a photo, black and white picture of a woman with kind eyes and wind-blown hair, standing by a lake. He placed it on the nightstand beside his bed. Each morning, he would greet it with a quiet, "Good morning, love." And each night, he would whisper, "I'll see you in my dreams." He came for 7 years. On the 8th, he did not return. But his quilt did. It's folded neatly, left at the foot of the bed, with a single note tucked beneath it. "She came to get me." The lodge held its breath that winter, wrapped in a silence too sacred to break. you feel your chest soften. Grief and love often walk hand in hand, not as opposites, but as old friends. Somewhere, you hear the soft tick of an old clock, not marking time, but honoring it. There was the writer who came in search of a lost story. She arrived, flustered, frustrated, her suitcase rattling with notebooks and tangled charger cords. She claimed she had a deadline. She said she needed inspiration. She paced the floors that first night, muttering about structure and tone, about what the editors would say. But the mountain doesn't care for deadlines. By the second day, her laptop remained closed. By the third, she had started baking bread. She left her notebooks untouched and instead filled her journal with sketches of fir trees, drawings of mugs, firewood stacks, a moth on the window pane. She stopped writing for the world and started writing for herself. When she left, she wrote this in the guest book. I came looking for a story to publish, but I found the one I needed to remember. The words settle over you like a quilt, warm, personal, and quiet. You feel your breathing slow again. A yawn stretches through your body, not from boredom, but from comfort. You are being held here, not just by cushions and wood and firelight, but by memory. There was a woman who came to the lodge and never unpacked her bag. She was quiet, gentle, and kind. She stayed only 3 nights. No one knew much about her name. Not where she came from. Not what she did. But the lodge remembered her. She spent most of her time sitting in the rocking chair near the big front window, the one that faced the valley. She didn't carry books. She didn't have a phone. Just a wool scarf and a pair of thick socks. She watched the rain. She listened to the wind. She closed her eyes and smiled often, not at anything in particular, but as though hearing a song only she could recognize. She left early one morning before sunrise. She folded the blankets neatly, rinsed her teacup, tucked a single note under the pillow. It said, "Thank you for reminding me. I still know how to rest." The wind outside stirs again. The fire has become glowing coals. The rain is steady, gentle, endless. You shift slightly in your chair, not to get comfortable, but to notice that you already are. Every part of you is supported. You are exactly where you need to be. You begin to wonder, what story will the lodge tell about you? Will it remember how you arrived? The way the mist clung to your coat? The soft, tired rhythm of your footsteps on the floorboards? Maybe it will tell of how you listened to its stories. How you slept, because now the night has wrapped itself around you completely. The stories have all been told. The guests have all gone to bed. The fire is low, the world is quiet, and sleep is here. You smile as you remember these stories, real or imagined. It doesn't matter. They make this place feel even more special, like it holds the echoes of every soul that has passed through. The room has grown darker now. Only the fire remains, casting long golden shadows across the floor. No more pages to turn. No more stories to chase. You can let go now. You are safe. You are warm. You are held by this chair, by this room, by this mountain, by this moment. The rain will sing softly, and you would drift like mist through pines, drift like dreams through memory, drift like sleep, deep and slow. And then a final image drifts through your mind. You, standing at the window in the morning. The rain has stopped. Sunlight spills across the valley. Mist clings to the treetops. And you, with a soft smile, wrapping a warm shawl around your shoulders. Grateful for the night that has held you. Grateful for this quiet. Return to yourself. You are warm. You are exactly where you need to be. Good night, gentle traveler.